What's up? Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back live again. Welcome to the Shred Show live with me, Josh Pitts. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. We had some audio issue this morning. We couldn't figure it out, but I think we got everything reset, got it dialed in. So we're going to give this another go because, hey, what you do, you got to adapt, you got to overcome, you got to improvise. Don't get upset. Just fix the issue and get right back to it. So hopefully we got this issue figured out. So we're going to go in and test our audio here real quick. There we go. Now we got our issues dialed in. Thanks so much for coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate your support. With that being said, if you are joining us this morning, you're joining us live, make sure you comment #shred because you were here shredding it with us this morning. And we appreciate you being with us. And if you're joining us on the replay, make sure you comment #hustle because that means you're out there hustling, you're making it happen, and then you're coming back here. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, I want to thank you for your support. Without you, we could not make this show possible. And a lot of people have been asking about Rise and Shred. Yes, that is our daily exchange that goes out. We try to provide you a daily dose of awesomeness in that, talking about industry information, just some really fun stuff. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go to riseandshred.io. Again, riseandshred.io. I'll post a link below. But let's dive into what I want to talk about today, because kind of a fun issue today or a fun show today, because a lot of times when I have a guest and they're not able to show up, the fun part is I can just come in and talk about whatever I want to talk about. Great audio. We have people commenting. So thanks for everybody tuning in, and thanks for checking our audio this morning. If you are joining us live again, make sure you comment #shred. And so this morning, if you guys haven't had a chance, I absolutely recommend picking this book up that I'm going to be talking about. And I'm not going to be talking about the entire book. I'm going to be highlighting a few of the things from it that I really, really enjoyed, that I thought were awesome. So I want to talk about, and I'm going to show this. Let's see if I can do this. We're going to get tricky here. We're going to be talking about Matt Ishbia's Running the Corporate Offense book. And if you haven't read this book, like I said, now's the opportunity. Pick it up. I'll actually post a link to Amazon below. And most of you know, you can actually see I got the UWM sporting this morning. And Matt Ishbia has become a very close friend. And everything he's doing with UWM, a lot of people ask me as I travel the country, meeting with different organizations, with what we do here at Shred, talking with companies, helping companies grow their attention and influence. Matt has become one of those people to me that has been influential. He's been a mentor. He's been a very good friend. And I've watched him, especially over the last couple of years as we've gotten close. And when he put out this book, sometimes when you have CEOs or you have people of influence or leaders in an industry put out a book, there's a lot of eyes on them. And a lot of people are like, why are they putting this out? And to be honest, when I first heard he was putting it out, I was excited. And then when I actually read the book, I was blown away. I was very, very impressed with the book. And many of you may not know, Matt was a basketball player, and he played for Michigan State, which many of you don't know. I was actually born in Michigan. Most people don't know that. Most people know that I live here in the mountains of Utah, but I was actually born in Michigan. I was born in Royal Oaks, Michigan. So I guess you could say technically I'm not. I call myself from Utah. I moved here when I was a little kid, but I was born in Michigan. So when I read it, he talks about Michigan a lot, and especially Michigan State and Coach Tom Izzo. You can really see Matt's passion for not only basketball come out in this book, but also for all that he does with United Wholesale Mortgage for his team. And that's what I want to talk about today. So if you haven't read this book, I absolutely recommend picking it up. And again, a lot of people are like, oh, he's pushing this book, he's pushing UWM. Here's why I'm pushing this. And here's why I think, and I'm not pushing the sale of this book. Like I think the book's like $14-15. Like it's absolutely worth it. You can see all the books behind me. I love reading books. I listen to them on Audible most of the time. Unfortunately, Matt's book isn't quite on Audible just yet, but it's still a really good read. So what I want to do, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to share a few of the things from this book that really stood out to me and that kind of really hit home for me. And you'll see why I want to highlight this book and a few of these pieces. And hopefully you pick it up and you go read it. Yes, there's a ton of basketball. If you love basketball, if you're a sports fan at all, you're absolutely going to love this book because it references basketball I don't know how many times. And he uses so many analogies about basketball in the book. If you're a Michigan State fan, comment #Michigan State below. And so I want to dive into this. The entire book is, I think it's 146 pages long. Let me double check. I think it's a very short read. You can buzz through it. I'd buzz through it just in a couple hours. It's 143 pages long. So 143 pages long. And like I said, there's just a ton of little nuggets that you can pull out of this. So that's what I want to share. There's a couple of chapters, there's a couple of snippets that I want to share, and that really emulate who Matt is as a person. Yes, is he the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company? Absolutely. But there's some things that he talks about in this book that were really impactful and influential to me. So I want to start here in the very first chapter, chapter 1. It's called Basketball Guides Me. And he talks about something that I've referenced before as well, but I like this. So page 12, you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. Sometimes I think we think we have to be a manager, or we have to be the person at the forefront of the organization to really lead, but that's not true. And I like what he says here. He says, leadership doesn't require you to be the most talented player on your team or to have all the answers. You don't have to be the biggest, fastest, or strongest guy in the locker room. People demonstrate leadership in a variety of ways. There isn't one box you have to check, no right or wrong answer. Regardless of your personal leadership style, there is one characteristic that you must demonstrate at your core. In order to be a leader, you have to be someone that people are willing to listen to and follow. You've got to be a living example of how things should be done. So whether you're just a loan officer, whether you're a process, whatever your role is in your organization, within your company, you can still be a leader of the team. You can still be the one calling the plays. As a matter of fact, what I really like about what Matt does here is he actually references himself. Again, he talks about being a player on Michigan State, and I've heard this before, but the fact that he references himself, this shows a lot of humility. He actually talks about people used to compare me to the cigar legendary Boston Celtics, Red Auerbach, and basically Matt references is when they put Matt in the game, they basically knew they won the game. They had done the team had done an awesome job, and it was kind of Matt's job to go in and kind of just wind down the game. The fact that he mentions this in the book just shows how humble Matt is. Be like, hey, you know what? Was I the absolute best player on the team? Probably not. Was I fastest, strongest? No. But he was still a leader, and people looked to him for his influence as part of the team. That when he referenced that, it was just mind-boggling. Most people would never even reference something like that, to be thought of as that person they put in at the very end of the game, because they basically won. When people saw Matt go on the floor, they're like, oh, well, we won. Great job. The fact that he references himself just shows a ton of humility. So that was chapter 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. Leaders, it's all about who you are inside and how you're leading from the front. The next chapter I want to jump to is chapter 5, and it talks about culture is king. And my good friend Jay Duran is always talking about culture, and his organization, Culture Matters. But in this chapter, Matt really talks about the culture. And if you've ever been to United Wholesale Mortgage in their facility, you know exactly what Matt is referencing here. The culture at UWM is something that is just incredibly impressive and super powerful. So he talks about this in chapter 5 in Culture is King. Programs are born by developing a culture that lays the foundation of long-term success. You've got to create an environment where core beliefs and principles are known and upheld, where individuals adhere to a system, and where strategic vision accounts for long-term sustainability instead of setting short-term success. A lot of times in our industry, ladies and gentlemen, we're always looking for that short-term success. And short-term success can be referenced in marketing, different programs, different ideas. But culture at its finest is that long-term. And this is what on the next page, he references this. It doesn't matter how innovative your technology is or how perfectly your client service model is set up. If your client isn't built to satisfy and motivate your people, your business won't succeed as well as it should. So talking about culture, in essence, every single one of us, doesn't matter how big our organization is, culture is so critically important to who we are as a team, to who we are as an organization. And if we want to flourish, if we want to grow, we have to have a culture that people can relate to, that they enjoy coming to every single day. So when they show up and they hustle, they actually appreciate, and they can see that the leaders of the organization, that they care about them, that the culture is where they want to be hanging out, where they want to grow and flourish in their career. So when he talks, this culture is king mentality is so very cool. And there's so many different parts of it in chapter 5 that are referenced, and he talks about culture. So again, I'm not going to share the entire book. You guys definitely have to read this book. But the last part of this book that I want to share is the second to last chapter, where it says, keep grinding. And everybody knows that, this completely embodies what Shred is all about. Show up, hustle, repeat every day. Matt uses the word keep grinding, which I think is awesome. But he says this in chapter 12 of Keep Grinding. It says, don't stand still. He says, relaxation is a death wish for your aspirations. The worst thing you can do as a leader is relax. Great leaders don't just hand their team an instruction manual and tell them to read it on their own. They are the instruction manual. Think about if you're a leader in your organization, you have to be the instruction manual. Great leaders don't give their people a list of goals and say, go. They're at the front lines actively playing their own role in the pursuit of those goals and helping others pursue theirs. They don't take any plays off. You can lead people more effectively when you're in the front of them. There were so many parts of this book, and especially that last part, that I was just like, holy cow, like Matt absolutely gets it. He absolutely embodies this. And one of the things that he talks about earlier in the book is going to all these events. As many people know, I travel the country going to events, speaking at different events, different trade shows. And something that I see a lot of is, of course, we have a lot of companies that go to these shows, but they send their marketing people, they send other executives, but it's rare that we see a CEO actually at the event. Matt is the exact opposite. Every event that I've ever gone to, maybe one or two that he had some family related something, but Matt is at all these events, at all these trade shows. He's there mingling with the people that he's working with on a daily basis. Not only his employees, but the people, the originators across the entire industry. He's there at the point. He's there talking to them. He's there listening to them, getting their feedback. That embodies what a leader should be. It's just, to me, it's such a cool, and he's living what he's talking about here. And I want to, he kind of ends with this, chapter 13. He says, improve your company by improving yourself. Every single one of us can improve ourselves. Stay committed to making progress. When you grind to become a better leader, the people around you will also become better leaders, not just followers. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't just create followers in our organization. We have to create leaders. And the more we step ourselves up and make ourselves better, that's how we get an incredible organization and great culture. Last thing I want to end is on this. It says, keep grinding. You are not your best yet, no matter what stage of your career you are in. That means that you're not yet the best leader that you can be. As you push yourself and grow, everyone around you will do the same. And that's the key to any great leader. Guys, I wanted to highlight just parts of this book this morning. And again, this is definitely a book that you should pick up. Like I said, when I first saw it put out, I was like, oh, there's going to be a lot of basketball. And even when I first started reading it, I'm like, there's going to be a lot of basketball references. But there are so many incredible references between basketball and running the corporate offense. It's just a really fun book. And again, if you're a sports fan, you're going to eat this book up. You're going to absolutely love it. Especially if you're a Michigan State fan, you're going to love this book. But there's so many great references. And I absolutely recommend picking up this book, reading it. And if you actually saw, I don't know if you guys could actually see that. I'll show you. One of my favorite things to do when I read a book is I go through and highlight different sections. Some people are like, well, you wrote in your book. Yeah, I do. I like highlighting things. So I'll show you here. This was The Culture is King. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see that there. Anyway, I love highlighting books and being able to go back, and when I read them again, there are different things that stand out to me. But again, wanted to share this book with everybody this morning, just because Matt has become a very good mentor, become a friend. And after reading this book, there's so many things that I think are implementable and usable for everybody on the show, whether you're just somebody small. If you think you're small in your organization, hopefully you don't think you're a small part. Hopefully the leaders in your organization make you feel like you're part of the team, which is, again, referenced in the book by Matt. So very, very cool. Want to have a huge shout out to my good friend Matt Ishbia and United Wholesale for all that they're doing. And again, I wanted to do this. We had an open show this morning. I want to talk about some of these things that hopefully you can take back and put in your organization. I will put a link to the book below if you're interested in it. Awesome. I'd love to hear your feedback and thoughts on it, because I thought it was an awesome book. With that being said, a lot of big things to come with Shred Media in the future. We've got, like I mentioned earlier, the riseandshred.io, our daily exchange. If you're looking for a daily dose of industry awesomeness, go to riseandshred.io to subscribe to that daily exchange. You can get right to your inbox every single morning to start off your day. Guys, as always, I really appreciate everything, your support, your love, your outpouring. If you have questions, and by the way, if you want to be featured in Rise and Shred, submit your memes. We love highlighting a meme of the day, and you can actually win free Shred swag. If you want a hat, we got hoodies, we got shirts. If you want a free Shred swag, submit your meme to Josh at shredmedia.com, and we will have your, if we feature your meme in the Rise and Shred, we'll actually send you some Shred swag. So with that, guys, that's our show for the day. Want to thank you so much for showing up and hustling with us this morning, shredding with us. And again, if you're joining us live, make sure you comment #shred. And if you liked our episode, please share it out. Give us a like. That's how we continue to grow our audience and continue to bring you valuable content to help you keep growing your business. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time to go shred. Show up, hustle, repeat every day. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great rest of the day.